Hello everyone, my name is Kate Marshall. The name of my channel is called Inked Paper Art, and today is day 81 of 365 days of junk journal ideas. Today we are going to make pockets out of index cards. These are not just any index cards, these are actually card catalog cards. And so I have taken the liberty to coffee dye a bunch of my card catalog cards. You can tell they're card catalog cards because they have the hole down here in the bottom. This hole is a different size than any other hole punch that you could, you can't really punch that size hole. It's a much bigger one, and it's made to go over those metal rods that go in the card catalog wooden little filing cabinets at the library. Not very many libraries use this system anymore. Pretty much all of them at this point are digital, so you don't find card catalog cards very often. I have some from a long time ago, and I have them packed up, and I'll be selling them tonight in the live sale on my channel. Tonight is Monday for this video. I am going to have a live sale every day this week. So we're going to go ahead and get started making these pockets, because yes, you could just glue it down and make it a pocket, but we're going to decorate it. And I'll actually do 3 of them in this video for my 3 journals. So let's find some cards that we would like to use for this. It doesn't really matter which ones because we're going to cover up a lot of it. So we're just going to pick 3. That looks pretty good. We're going to go ahead and do these 3 as pockets. But what I was saying is every night this week, I will be having a live sale. The live sales start at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so the first thing I'm going to do is punch a hole in the top of them. So I'm going to stack all 3 together, and I'm going to punch a little thumb notch at the top. And so we're going to focus on decorating these guys up and making them, I want to see that they're card catalog cards. I'm not trying to just, oh, I don't know if I can punch it. It's a little too thick for me. These are much thicker than your regular index cards. I almost got it. Look at that. I got those 2. Well, I got this one too, just barely. Anyway, they're much thicker than regular index cards that you would buy. And so we're going to work on, showing off that I'm using an index card for the pocket, but we're also going to, make it look a little more embellished. So the first thing I'm going to do is ink it all the way around. And I'm going to do 3 of them, and then we're going to add some layers onto them, some focal points, and then at the end, I want to add some lace to the bottom of these. And these are going in the botanical journal, so I'm not going to use like a very frilly lace. I'm going to use more of a cotton lace, and it's just a little more natural looking. I think it goes with the botanical theme a little more. It's less Victorian kind of a fancy journal. It's more of a field note kind of sciencey study journal. Okay, so there's that. They're inked around. They're thumb hole notched. Now we're going to look at them and decide, we need some book page. We need some layers on here. I have this little pile that I used on Friday. These are the scraps that I used to make the master boards with on Friday that we did the craft with me together. So I have those. I can just pull some of that and put them on here. Little handwriting is nice. Let's go ahead and use this little bit of handwriting right here. So I have no plan. I didn't plan anything out ahead of time. I'm literally just going to make these into pockets just on the fly. I like to craft that way. I think it's fun. It's original. It's different. It's not planned out ahead of time. It's just like you guys would sit down at home and decide, oh, I want to make these into pockets, right? So that's kind of the reason why I do it this way. It's just because it's authentic, I guess is a good word for it. And so here's a bit of handwriting as well. And so you can see I'm kind of tearing it a rough edge around it. I like the rough edge look for these. Let's go ahead and use this one. And we'll tear this down. So we're going to get a couple little layers on here. I wanted to keep some of that handwriting. We kept a little bit. And I've done the first layer on the left side of all 3 of them. And I'm using the top part showing that it is a card catalog card. There is a little bit of text on here. I'll just save that little bit. And then from there, you could add some Florentine paper. The Florentine paper, I might have packs during the sale of little cut pieces to, use. So that might happen. I'm not sure if it will or it won't. But anyway, there's that. I got book crumbs everywhere, or that's actually ink, little dauber. Okay, from there, we need to look at getting some focal points and some more inking. So I'm just going to quickly ink that edge. I don't want it too much, but just a little bit, so it doesn't look brand new, like I just tore it and put it on there basically. So there's those. And then we're going to do focal points. Let's see about using some of these flowers. I am going to list these. I have been trying for 2 days to get them listed into Etsy, and it just has not happened yet, but it is going to happen for sure, for sure. Okay, so let's see about how this will work for size. I really do like it, so maybe we will do it. We haven't used these yet, and there is some smaller ones on here, so let's go ahead and do those. So I'm just going to cut this whole top section, and I'll do maybe one with a flower on it, and then we'll do one a little different so that you guys can see how to use them. But what I was saying is I will have packs of these cards. So if you don't have card catalog cards, I will have packs of them available in the live sale. And I believe they'll be up on Monday night, so tonight. So that's my plan with them anyway. And so let's see which one looks good with this. Maybe that. We'll see about it. Let's see what else we have for focal points. I also have this one, and I know I said I only wanted one, but I'll quickly cut it out. Cutting rice paper is so much easier than cutting regular paper. You can kind of just pull your scissors, pull the paper through your scissor, and it will just, cut around it there. So it's pretty quick. All right, well, maybe we'll do 2 like that. Let me see what else I have over here. I have the Tim Holtz fussy cuts and labels and things like that, so we can look at those together. I've got scraps and more scraps at this point. Okay, by the time we start these botanical journals, I will have all the ephemera made. Not quite, but a lot of it. So there's a butterfly, and that might be cute on one of them. I'm not sure which one, but that might be cute. A big butterfly. Obviously, there's other, Tim Holtz flowers in here. What I was really thinking about is putting mushrooms on these. And so I was going to look and see if there were any larger mushrooms in the Tim Holtz things. It doesn't look like there is. We also have these calling cards, and I have been trying to find a use for these. So let's look and see how they would look if we put like a calling card in here. I don't know where it could go. Maybe we do the calling card and the flower. I don't know. We're playing with placement right now. Like I said, I didn't have a plan, so you guys get the authentic way of doing it. Okay, so let me find the mushrooms. Okay, so I found the mushrooms that I was looking for. I dug us out some labels. I found the tray with all my little ephemera bits in there. So we could play and see if we can find some other labels or something else to stick on there. I inked things, I fussy cut things to try to speed it up so we can get all 3 of these done. I think I'm pretty much done with this pile over here. So let's go ahead and lay these out and see if in fact I'm going to be able to do all 3 different, or if we're going to have to do them with mushrooms. I don't know yet. So the mushrooms I chose were from the Etsy digital. The digital is listed in my Etsy right now. So let's see. I think we need to do, if we do that one would have to go there. I have this little guy that could go here or here, and this guy for here. They're very cute. I was thinking about doing like these little registered registered labels, and then I have some other options for labels here as well. I have a green label. I have this one that says perishable or handle with care. I like them. They're very cute. I almost think I like the black labels with them the best. So maybe that means I would like a big, bold red label, possibly. Let's see what I have. I have this red one that says fragile, do not drop, handle with care. I think it's already inked. I don't know. It's very late and my eyeballs are very tired. I do like them. We might just do that. I know I said I was going to do them different, but I'll show you the different options. How about that? Because there's the butterfly and there's the flower and there's a bunch of other ephemera that we could stick on here. You could do a small little paper cluster or something like that. But because these are pockets, I also want to point out, like if you put a mushroom on this, then a mushroom tag would look good in there, but not the same mushroom. So we do need to think about that too. Let's go ahead and do these just the way we've got them laid out. The other options were you could put the butterfly on one. And so maybe this butterfly could go down here and then you could still put some kind of little label on there. I don't know about that one, but some kind of little label. The flower you saw on there before. I like the flower with the handwriting one the best, but there's a flower and it would go over top of the edge of that handwriting. And that one would look good with a green label. And so it's just a different look. You can do them however you want. There isn't a right way or a wrong way, but I actually have been looking for places to use these black labels. So if I found a place that I think will work, I'm going to go ahead and do it right after I give them a little more ink. I think so. Let's do it. Why not? So let me get these glued down and then we're not going to be done with them. Like I said, I want to at least add lace, but maybe add a little more embellishing too. We have kept them pretty simple so far. So let's just go ahead and do them one at a time here. We'll get our background layer on there. I really do like using the card catalog cards for this to make quick and easy pockets. It's something different than just an index card. If you didn't have the card catalog, of course, in a pinch, the index card would work for you. I've lost my mushroom somewhere. I don't know where I just put it. Perhaps it is right here. Like I said, it's late here and yeah. I hope you guys are having a great day. Hopefully you had a great weekend. And I do look forward to seeing all of you tonight at the live sale. I know it's weird to have a live sale on a Monday, but this week is a very special week. It's not your normal week. We are going to do a live sale every night this week, and that's because A, I have been gone for a good 3 weeks with my daughter's wedding, and B, I am doing a super sale, meaning there's lots of different, nicer, better items that I don't usually get to bring because we only have one sale a week. There's lots of surprise boxes, mystery boxes, paper packs, everything that I normally have, plus, about 5 times more than that. And I have new stuff, all different kinds of things. So I hope you guys check it out. And also, I wanted to point out, even if you are not interested in shopping, if you just want to see a big old bunch of ideas of different types of vintage or antique, or not even that necessarily, just a bunch of different ideas of different things to use in junk journals, watching the live sales, whether you watch it live or you watch it after the fact, if you want to watch it without commercials, watching it live, there's no commercials while it is live. Like, whatever they do on YouTube, no commercials that way. But anyway, you can watch it and I will go through all the different products and show you guys all the different ways of using tons and tons of different things for junk journals. So if you're looking for, hey, what are some ideas of, different kinds of things you might find at Goodwill? or different kinds of things you might find at your local antique stores or something like that that you can pick up and use. Or maybe you already have some of these things at home and you just didn't really think about using them for junk journals or in the way that I used them in mine for junk journals. Because part of the live sale is me showing you all the different options and explaining how you can use the different things in your junk journal. So it's like a whole big bunch of ideas. For people who aren't interested in shopping, it's still a big bunch of ideas. It's a fun time. Everyone talks and hangs out and chats live, if you're watching the live. Otherwise, they, leave comments and whatever. But the live is just a better viewing experience all the way around. So we're going to get that right on there. There's 2 of them done. Well, almost done. Anyway, so super sale only happens maybe 2 to 4 times. I think this year it's only going to happen 2 times a year. And so this is the first one for 2025. And because I didn't sell for 3 weeks, I have a ton of stuff that's all backed up and piled up here. So we're going to have a really big bunch of things. And it gives me opportunity to bring out different things too that maybe, like I said, we don't have time for in the once a week sales. But in these ones, since they're longer, we have time. So anyway, I hope you guys come over and say hello, even if you're just there for a short bit. And I know it's a sale for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and they start at 7 every night. And I know not all of you can hang out with me all week long. I get it. But when you have time, pop in, say hello to everybody there. And, maybe you can join us again later, when you don't have dinner with family or something going on. Anyway, I just appreciate any time you guys can hang out with me, whether it's crafting or when we're doing the live sales or whatever. Watching the videos every day. We are going to do a big 10,000 subscriber, I don't know what we're going to call it, hoopla, giveaway, whatever. There's going to be a giveaway attached to it, but I think we should do a little bit of something special because 10,000 is quite a milestone, right? So I think we're going to do a little something special, not just a normal giveaway, something a little bit more than that. So let me get this glue capped up, cut off my excess here. Sorry for chatting so much about live sale, but I'm excited. It's like I said, just maybe twice a year, so the next one wouldn't be for very many months. I'm excited. Anyway, so here's our pockets. There's the rest trimmed off. And let's go ahead and add that lace down the bottom of them. Now, we did mushrooms. So again, I think the cotton lace is pretty much the only kind of lace I would put on them. Now, you could put a different kind if you have something that goes very nice with yours. Let me grab some scraps down. I've got this guy right here. And you can see he just has a piled up bunch of stuff, and we don't even have to put lace. Like, we could do something like this where it's numbers. Let's try that. Numbers and some whatever that is. I've got some little stamped things. Apparently there's paper in here too. I've got some little stamped images, and I do have a bunch of lace, and I want to use something that's more cottony looking like this. So there's that, as opposed to frilly looking like this. There's not a right or a wrong, but I just have a particular thing in mind. So I think we're going to do that. There's the rest of my little stamped images. Here's some little stamped numbers and little stamped dates. The dates would also be really cute. I'm going to pull that sheet out. That was one that we made when I made those collage masterboards. Here's a little bee. The bee would also be cute. We got little bits of fabric. I know you guys always say that you would love to just come dig through my bins like this. And you know what? One of these days we're going to do that retreat, and we are going to hang out together, and you guys can dig through and have fun with my stuff. Okay, so anyway, I think we're going to move this off to the side. I pulled out enough to play with for the moment. I got tatting falling out everywhere. I have the largest piece of tatting that you guys will have ever seen. It is a ginormous piece of tatting. Okay, I think I'm missing a card. Yes, I am. It's stuck to the bottom of the lace. There it is. And so from here, I want to look at this option. What if we cut this down a little bit and kind of hung it off the edge? I do like it. So let's cut it. And I like the fact that it's cut at an angle like that. That's kind of cute. I don't know how wide I can leave this. I might be able to get 2, but I think we need to cut off just 1 row. I don't know if it'll tear, but I'm going to cut off 1 row. Sometimes when you try to tear and it's super small like this, it doesn't tear well, but I did manage that. So I've got a little bit of it here. I'm going to fray out those ends before I glue it down. It's much easier just to fray this by hand. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you just have a pokey tool, you can poke out the threads. I don't know where my pokey tool is at the moment, but your fingernail will also work, even if you don't have fingernails much, like I don't. But there's that. So we're going to put that on the bottom of that one, and it's just going to go that far. I don't want it all the way across because that just, in my opinion, is too much. So here's a couple of little numbers. I don't know if I want 2 numbers or if I want 3 numbers. I'm going to try it with 2. I am trying to bring this to the live sale too this week. I know you guys always ask for this every time I use it. Ended up getting 3 because there was 1 tucked underneath stuck there. So I guess we're going to have 3, or I'm going to cut 1 off. Let me just cut 1 that's 2. Anyway, I am trying to bring these. I just got to get them all cut and packaged for you guys. So let's do that on 1. And then we have this stamped sheet, and I'm going to tear out one of these 1842s right here. So let me cut that. And so if you stamp on some fabric, you're able to then just cut around. So you can see I just took a piece of fabric and just stamped a whole big bunch of things, and that way it's ready when I want to use it. And we have other things stamped. These are Sam Poole stamps, Tim Holtz stamps on there, lots of things. And from there, I have little bits and bobs everywhere. And I also grabbed some fabric because it has been a while since we played with fabric and I am missing it. So there it is. So we've got that, and it might be a little bit much with the black. This one might look better up here. I don't think it's going to, but I'm going to check it. No, it is going to go down here. So that's going to be that one. And it just looks like a bit much now, but probably on the page it will be fine. And then I do have another scrap of that. So let me just do the same thing where I cut off 1 row. And I'm just making it so it doesn't hang out too far because these are pockets for the bottom of a page. And because they're all the way at the bottom of the page, I don't want this fabric sticking out, you know, too much or anything like that. So I think we're going to do it on these 2 because they have that black label. It just kind of tells me that's what I want there. And maybe we'll put this one up here with some fabric. I've got some nice red and whatever fabric here. It's kind of a tan color. It's French fabric. I could see that, but maybe something a little different. Like I have just a nice red, but we have a red label. I've got little fleur-de-lis. Maybe we need to go with something tan. Let's try this guy. Let's try that guy. So we're going to do that. We're going to cut ourselves a little strip, tear it off, and it doesn't matter on this one really what side is up or down. It doesn't really matter. Let's do it like that, and then let's see about putting this little number on there. I like that. I want the white to be just slightly smaller, so I'm going to do another snip. Sorry, we're going over quite a bit on time, and all I did was decorate, but I am decorating 3. So undoubtedly someone will leave me a comment of if you just made less, you wouldn't run over on time. But the point of today's video was decorating for all you people who beg me for decorating. And I don't mean like beg me literally. I just mean I'm teasing. So hopefully nobody gets offended by that. But anyway, there's those 2. And maybe we will go ahead and do the other 2 of these on here. I think we will. We could have done red laundry numbers. We have those. And if I would have found the right ones, we could have done red laundry. I'm also bringing these. So the hat numbers, they come in a bunch of different numbers, and they're from hat bands, antique French hat bands. Those will be at the live sale, and these French red laundry numbers that are embroidered. I have a bunch of them. I have the alphabets and I have the numbers. So we could have done those there. There are some that go across like that. Let me see if I have any of that kind in here, and maybe we will use those now that I've already made us go over so much on time, you know. I think I see them. I do see them. They're right here. Okay, I found them, and it's the perfect amount. There's just a little bit of them. Let's do that right there. It's something different. We could still do the 1842, but I really like those. So let's do those. Now that, like I said, I didn't even end up putting lace, but that's not to say that I can't still put lace. So we're just going for it right now. So, you know, if it's a half hour, 40 minutes, whatever it is, I will wrap this up pretty quick. But let's see how it looks with lace. So just because we've got all that there doesn't mean we can't come in and put lace. Now this lace is dangly pretty far down, so I wouldn't want to put it at the bottom. I would want to move it up just a little bit. It's not going to be all the way up as high as I've got it right there, but we could just do this as more of a little cluster over here on the side. I kind of like it. Let's go ahead and do it. You know, I could add lace underneath the pocket too, but let me cut one bit of this and let's see how we like it. It's kind of hard to look at until you've got it all done. So if that is on there like that, I just don't want it to cover up this area of my pocket either, and that's what I'm struggling with. If I would have pulled out a smaller cotton lace like I was planning on, that would probably have them the best. Yeah, because this needs to go down quite a bit. So that lace would have to go up, or I'd have to cut some off. Let's cut some off and see how I like it that way. So I'm going to just give this lace a haircut, and we're going to get what we get of it. We don't even really care that it's straight. You could save that. That'd be a fun snippet for something else, or a tag topper. So I just trimmed that lace right off there. And you can see it's much wider now because it doesn't have that top on it. I don't care about that. That's all good. We'll glue that there, and then we'll put this here. And I'm going to keep that straight edge at the top and put our numbers there in the center. And then eventually I'll probably put a little safety pin in there. I think that would look great. So there's that one. I don't know. We probably put lace on all of them now because we did, right? I got to trim this off. It's bothering me. Sorry. I'm telling you, if you guys were in my brain, because you always say, like, you know, oh, you love the way my brain thinks or whatever. Oh my goodness. You wouldn't know what you were getting yourself into with it. All right, so there's that. Back and forth, but we're good. Let's get some glue down on here and get this party started with these. Anyway, did you ever imagine in your wildest dreams that it would take this long to decorate? You did with me, didn't you? Okay, so I guess I'm the queen of indecision lately. Plus my Fabri-Tac is just about out. So yeah, there's that too. Anyway, we're going to get some Fabri-Tac on here. It's working, so that's good. We're going to go all the way across with our lace. We're going to pop that down there and just kind of squish it up on there, you know. That looks good. I could squish it closer together, but honestly, that's fine. I'm just going to pull it over and kind of even out the little points. There we go. So we're going to end up with 4 points on there. And the only way to really do this is with a spatula to not get it on your hands. I like the fact that you can see that grass through there much better now. That's great. And then we're just going to add a little Fabri-Tac back here. I'm not trying to glue the whole thing down. I just put a stripe. And that's just to tack it and hold it. I want the fabric to still move like fabric. So there's that. And then these, usually I like to sew these on, but you know, we don't have a sewing machine in here, nor do we have time for me to hand sew it. So we're going to glue it. I need that to lay down. And here we go. There's that one. And that's great. That's wonderful. I love this pocket. It came out so much better than I thought it was going to come out when I sat down and had no plan for decorating. And I'll save that little bit too. I save all the little decorative snippet parts of it. Okay, so Fabri-Tac is going everywhere. Let's get another one done here. So there's that. You can see I've got Fabri-Tac going everywhere. I swear it's either feast or famine. Sometimes with Fabri-Tac, you know how it like tops over and goes over the edge and bubbles up and all that kind of stuff. And it's just because mine's at the bottom of the bottle. Normally it behaves very nicely. Anyway, there's that. We'll leave that layout there and we'll put some more lace on it. I'm going to do the same thing. Now we know I need 4, hopefully. So we're going to cut 4 and we're going to cut the top off again. And I'm just, you know, going where I think it needs to go. It's not exactly even. That part doesn't matter. And then this one goes like this. I didn't check for which way was the right way with the last one, but hopefully we'll be okay. And there's that on there. And then here is our piece of fabric, again with the drippy glue, but it's all good. And so we're going to have several more videos this week that you guys asked for. You guys asked for decorating, so decorating a little bit, you know, here today. But we're going to also do that topper for the junk journals. Ooh, I kept that lace up pretty high. We need to pull that one down this time. But anyway, we're going to do the journal topper for the blue journal. I know you guys have been patiently awaiting that one, so we're going to do that. And that should be a fun video. I've been looking forward to getting those journals done. And I know you guys have been too. So that was actually our February journal kit. And, you know, they've been officially done for a little bit now, the journals. I just need to put toppers and, you know, because I make 3 at a time. I'm always a little bit later than you guys with them. So there's that. And I love the strings on this one. That's a fun little pocket. It's super fun. So there's that one. And let's do this last one here. We can do him the same, or we could change it up a little bit. I wish I would have grabbed some cotton lace. But you know, these aren't going to go in the same journal. They're going to be in 3 different journals. So I think we're okay. And I'm going to cut the top off again. This time I'm not going to cut it quite as much. Here we go. Get some glue on this. So some fun videos this week that I've been waiting to do. Plus this Friday, we actually officially start these botanical journals that I've been making all this ephemera for weeks. We are going to start that as a group project. That was our March kit, and we're doing it a little later. We're doing it for March and April this year because of my daughter's wedding and all that kind of stuff that I had to get done for that. So anyway, we're doing it March and April, which is why we're starting it late. But we're going to do them, get them done. I already have such a jump start on mine. And I know many of you guys have been crafting along with me in the morning videos. So you guys also have a pile of ephemera already ready to go, which is fun. So there's that. And then from there, we're going to have a new kit about mid-April. We'll have a new junk journal kit, and that one will be for May. And so I'm going to cut some of these little fibers off just so we can see our label a little bit better. And I'm actually going to go in here and trim a little bit of this fabric back, as long as I don't catch my lace in there. And that will fray, so that's good. Let's get our numbers on there. I've got strings everywhere, but you know what? This is the kind of journal where we can just let those strings be wherever those strings want to be. And there's that guy. Okay, so let me lift these up. Sorry for the 35 minutes today. I know you guys will leave me a million comments saying it's okay. And then there'll be one who wasn't happy. But anyway, it doesn't happen often. Thanks for indulging me today. Now, honestly, I think you probably could get away, especially with this one, with a postage stamp up here or some other kind of stamp. But I really think that is cute. Super cute. And here's this one. And he's almost the same. Not quite. Again, I think you could do postage stamp up there. I don't know. It's very, very cute. I love these. And this one. cute. Awesome. Well, you know, I had no idea what we were going to do when we sat down and we made something cute together. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks so much. Bye, guys.